record yet.
What?
Okay. Now I'm recording from the top, sir.
You had one job.
And I don't do it well, so if you're surprised, once again, that's on you.
Biggest disappointment.
2023 was my recording skills in 2024.
All right, I'm gonna start.
This is all staying in, by the way.
Oh, I was absolutely sure of that as soon as it happened. Okay, I'll start recording on my end in a second. Welcome back, everyone, once again, for real this time, hopefully, to a new installment of Screenplay Rewind.
Hang on. I'm kidding.
See, I was gonna let you have it, because I know you'd put that fucked up opening in as well as the original first fucked up opening. So, we can just do all these false starts you want. I know the show's eventually gonna get started, much to the chagrin of like America.
I still think if we ever do another podcast, it should just be called False Start.
False start. I thought we had IRL grievances though. That was kind of our little chestnut.
Yeah, that would probably be pretty therapeutic.
Yeah, man. So you got your apple ice cream ready? Talk about some Evil Lurks, dude.
Oh man.
Oh, dude. I don't even know where to begin. But yeah. So I think we got a couple questions first before we get to the. I don't even know where the fuck we're gonna begin when we talk about this movie, dude. Holy the fuck. That is, if someone was like hiring me to like, we need your blurb for the poster for that movie. Holy fuck. That'd be just the quote on the poster. So I have a quick question for us from Aurora and Ron. Aurora would like to know.
Answer's no.
Okay, moving on. Next question. Go ahead. What is your favorite French fry?
Favorite French fry? Like, from where? Like where I would get?
like a specific restaurant or just a specific like one that you'd like.
I know it's like saying Wolverine's my favorite X-Man, but McDonald's fries are pretty fucking good.
Yeah, you can't go, especially if you get them like super fresh.
They're super fresh. They're basically just 100% pure salt, but they've got that crispy outside, and then they're that soft potato-y texture on the inside. And if you grab like 3 or 4 of them at once and maybe dip it in some ketchup, you just get that crunch throughout because of the way you're holding them.
Hell yeah, good. Dude. Yeah. Also, I feel like the thing with like McDonald's is when they're fresh, they're really fucking good. But I feel like McDonald's French fries have like the shortest half-life of all of the French fries because like I feel like they become colder quicker than.
Have you ever
fries.
had leftover Five Guys fries?
I have not.
Yeah, once.
That was pretty rough.
Those are pretty rough. I don't know. Five Guys fries might be my favorite over McDonald's though. Now that I'm thinking about it, but. My understanding is an air fryer does wonders for leftover Five Guys fries.
Okay.
I've never reheated them in an air fryer before.
I feel like that's too much like work for leftover French fries because if I'm taking the time to eat leftover French fries, I'm in a pretty sad state of mind. I'm not exactly like up for all of that effort. I kind of just want my super shitty leftover French fries.
Can I tell
just
you
to eat away my sorrows?
Can I tell you a little anecdote that only Bobby's gonna fully appreciate because he knows everybody involved?
Go ahead.
There was one time me and my buddy Steve ended up going back to his house. We would every once in a while stay over at either his dad's house or his mom's house, wherever he was, and just stay up way too late, eating way too much junk food and sugar and Dr. Pepper and just watching movies on loop. Just one movie after another. And there was one time we had been to Cheddar's, I want to say, and had a big old plate of cheese fries that we brought home.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in the middle of putting them on a plate and getting ready to stick them in the microwave when his dad walked by. And he's just like, "What the hell are you doing? That's not how you reheat cheese fries. What the hell's wrong with you?" And he preheated the oven. And he's like, "Go sit your ass down. I'll bring them to you." And like,
I like how he was personally insulted by the travesty that was about to overcome
Here's
those
the thing.
4 fries.
you would be on the floor if you knew the man, right? Like
Really?
Bobby is rolling right now listening to this. I guarantee you, because Big D is a hilarious man, but the fact that he was so angry with Steve over the way he was about to reheat cheese fries. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah, it was like an insult against God
Just
himself.
what the hell is wrong with you? You
What the hell
walked into
is
the kitchen.
get out? Who let you back
Get
in
the
the
hell
house?
out of my house. Like, it was so good.
That's pretty funny. I think my favorite one now might be I really like the new Wendy's revamp of fries.
I haven't eaten Wendy's since they decided their burgers are worth $20 or whatever.
Yeah, that is a very sad state of like mankind where you go to get fast food and it is like $1 cheaper than if you had just gone to a fucking sit down restaurant, and you wonder like why.
So Chris and I were talking about how if we're going to eat out and the debate is like fast food or sit down restaurant, now like Tokyo Garden is cheaper than going to Los Cabos or going to Taco Bueno.
It's crazy.
Like, it's insane.
Even getting McDonald's.
Yeah.
Even if you get McDonald's,
It's
you're
like
paying
$25 for like 3 people, basically.
Yeah. I used to be able to get like a couple cheeseburgers and like a thing of fries for, like $5. That
Yeah,
same
$5,
thing
$6.
is double that now.
Yeah, and that's what that's what I get, and that's just me by myself. And I got 2 Happy Meals and whatever Chris gets.
The only one of the like prototypical cheap fast food places you can still get cheap food at, and you have to do like the mobile app hack for it, is Taco Bell.
Ugh.
Taco Bell has this combo online exclusive thing where if you get no, I'm not saying Taco Bell is great. Taco Bell is Taco Bell. Everyone knows what fucking Taco Bell is.
People don't eat there because it's good. They eat there because it's cheap.
Yeah, you don't either because it's convenient and it can be cheap. So there's like a couple of combos on the mobile app where you can get like pre-COVID inflation fast food prices. You can get like a shit ton of Taco Bell for like $5, and it's like a whole box full of it.
There's a certain podcaster you and I listen to that's a fan of Taco Bell that talks about regretting knowing that a lot. Because he eats a lot of Taco Bell and then he hates himself for it. To me, Taco Bell is people that eat Taco Bell like religiously. It's a lot like that episode of South Park when he's bleeding out of his ass and he's like, why do you eat it? And he's like, because it's good. And he's like, well, look what it does to you. And he's like, yeah. But it's good.
Also, Dark Horse solid fry. Not exactly a fry, but same fucking ballpark. I like potato wedges a lot.
Potato wedges are fucking awesome.
And if I get the option, like I'll fucking take potato wedges from pretty much anywhere. I feel like it's hard to fuck up a potato wedge, because I feel like I've never been disappointed by a potato wedge.
Buffalo Wild Wings has great potato wedges. Those little ones that come in the basket.
Yeah, you ever get them covered with their queso?
Oh my
queso
God.
option is real good. I could almost make like a whole meal out of just the little queso potato wedges.
I wish I knew which recipe, but I made potato wedges once, and like they were supposed to be for dinner, and they never made it to dinner. Like me and my wife just ate them. They were so good.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But yeah, I don't know. Five Guys when they're fresh is pretty good. McDonald's. So my answer is 1A and 1B. So fresh Five Guys is incredible fries. McDonald's when they're fresh is really, really good. And McDonald's when they're not fresh is really, really good.
Yeah.
So, but I really like Five Guys burgers. And it used to be that was a treat. But I feel like their prices haven't moved, and McDonald's is like the same price. And it's like, if I'm going to pay that much for a burger,
enjoy it.
I'm just going to go to Five Guys and load up on all the jalapenos and all the shit that I want and get this juicy ass, perfectly cooked burger and these bomb ass fries that they give me way too many of, that I'm going to eat them. Fuck it, Jeff. I'm going to eat them.
Yeah, it's with Mexican food too. What you pay for like a quesadilla and a taco at Taco Bueno is now like $11 Like I'm just gonna go to Los Cabos.
I can eat at Los Cabos for that same price.
Yeah, like we eat El Chico sometimes, and It's the same price as Taco Bueno. I'm just like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
The four of us eat for like $60 at Tokyo Garden. It's a hibachi for people that don't know, and it's so fucking good. Or I can just go get Chinese like takeout for the same price, and it's like, this is good because it's garbage, not because it's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's ridiculous right now. It seems to me like sit down restaurants haven't changed much, but the fast food places have gone insane.
They're brutal. It's almost kind of like a blessing because I'm less likely to eat it when it is that expensive. You know, so I won't break down and be like, well, you know what? I'll just pay $5 and get this giant ass meal of shit I don't need from McDonald's or some shit like that.
It's a lot easier to keep that New Year's resolution if you have to do the math.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool.
I think we had an additional question from Bobby, right?
Yes. Bobby's question was, what was your most disappointing movie of 2023? And I feel like I should start off by saying I went through the list of movies that came out in 2023 and I saw 5. So,
yeah.
Well, 6.
Last year,
6. I saw Paw Patrol. 6.
Last year, I also only saw a handful of, new movies that came out throughout the year. And is probably the least amount of new movies I've probably ever seen in a given year, just because there wasn't a lot throughout the year. We went back and looked through the lists before we started recording, and it was kind of a dour year for movies.
A little bit.
If you go back and scroll through just like the top to bottom list, like there's obviously some good stuff in there because there's always going to be good movies throughout the year. There just wasn't a whole lot of stuff coming out where I was like, I have to go see that in the movie theater right now. And the question was biggest disappointment. I think biggest disappointment was in myself because I just didn't see very many movies. So did you have a disappointment out of your list?
Yes. So not talking worst, talking most disappointed movie that I saw, I think is Guardians 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I just was sorry. I stopped to take a drink because I thought you'd have something to say.
Oh, I was waiting for you to elaborate on your thought. I was just like, it's just like Guardians 3.
I figured you would jump in after I said that, and I went to take a drink, and it was just dead air, which is kind of perfect, by the way. If we did like YouTube Shorts for advertisement, I would cut it there, just dead air after Guardians 3.
And because Rod and I have always had like oddball like standing points as far as like where we view the Guardians movies. Ironically, Guardians 3 is probably my favorite of the Guardians
movies. It really? You're not alone. I'm the standout.
I liked it a lot, but that was also partially just because I found the first two overrated when I originally saw them.
Really?
Yeah, I grew to like them more over time. The hype, probably the biggest thing that hurt the first Guardians movie for me initially. Now, like I said, I like it now. I like it a lot now. I just had to watch it multiple times to see what they were going for. But the biggest damning thing about that movie for me was I watched it like 2 or 3 weeks after it came out, and people would not shut the fuck up about that movie. I was going into it. I was going into it expecting it to just like absolutely blow my mind. And while it is very good, I was initially disappointed in it because I was just like, yeah, this is really funny and it's good, but it's like, this is what like people had like an in-game reaction to it, and I don't see that level of hype around it even to this day. As much as I like it now, I don't see that level of hype around it.
So I had never heard of Guardians of the Galaxy. I'd never really seen a trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't know anything about it outside there's a talking raccoon, and I didn't know anyone who had seen it or had heard of what it was except for you. And I don't talk to people. Hype never finds me. I didn't know there was hype around the movie.
Oh my god, it
was
everywhere.
That first Guardians movie blew me out of the fucking water. I love that first movie so much. The second one's okay. It's really good.
The second one also became a lot better to me upon rewatch.
I had to watch it again. The first
time I watched it, it was just, it's fine. But I liked it better the second time as well.
Yeah, I was never disappointed in it. It was just my review of Guardians 2 is Guardians 2 more Guardians, which I'm down with.
Yeah.
Guardians 3, it's just unwatchable.
Unwatchable. That's crazy to me.
It is
I think
absolutely unwatchable.
I think it's really good.
Yeah, I can't stand it.
What is unwatchable about it to you? Because
It-
you are alone on the hill with that.
Oh, I know.
Everyone really likes that movie at the very least.
Yeah, everybody loves that movie, and it's like it's the best movie that Marvel has put out, and
See now I don't go that far. Like the talk of it being like top 5 Marvel is crazy to me, but I think it's very good.
oh, there's people out there that it's their favorite.
I feel like there's always
movies.
people that like the kind of random one is going to be like Black Panther's like my favorite, or there's always like the oddballs where they just kind of like Thor Ragnarok is my favorite.
Aquafina was my favorite character.
No one said Shang-Chi was their favorite Marvel movie or the Eternals.
It might have been.
Once they hit that phase, like with the Shang-Chi and the Eternals, that was when like the offshoot ones, nobody's fucking favorite Marvel movie. But like, what about the third Guardians did you not like? Because to me, it is more Guardians.
It's way too long, and I feel like just nothing happens. I just feel like it's the most boring of all the Guardians movies. The jokes don't land. I just feel like they're poorly written and not funny. The story stuff with trying to save Rocket is fine. I don't need Baby Rocket and Baby Murder, and I don't need fucking what's his name, Star-Lord, just being drunk and mopey the whole time. Like, I don't know.
The stuff with Quill isn't as good. I actually like the backstory with Rocket and stuff. I thought it was cool because
it just was unnecessary.
I think it is kind of necessary for that movie, just because like the whole point in that movie
the villain, the High Evolutionary, it was so disappointing because have you ever seen Spider-Man Unlimited?
I think I saw like bits and pieces of it. I don't think I watched it consistently.
So it only ran one season. It followed what people now call Spider-Man the Animated Series, the one that was on Fox with the 3D opening. And it's not a sequel or anything, but that's what came after that one ended. And it was their answer to Batman Beyond, basically. And that it only ran one season and ends on a cliffhanger, which pisses me off. But
that always sucks.
He goes to Earth 2, chasing Venom and Carnage. He chases them all the way to Earth 2, and the High Evolutionary is the main villain of the show. And all of his creations rule Earth 2, and humans are like the lesser creatures that live in the slums. And it's him battling the High Evolutionary because the High Evolutionary, due to Peter Parker crash landing in a space shuttle, knows that Earth 1 exists, and he has Peter Parker's space shuttle. Peter Parker has no way home till he beats the High Evolutionary, and he wants to come to Earth. So he has to try to stop that while battling Venom and Carnage along the way, because Venom and Carnage have decided, well, here's another planet to conquer that doesn't have a Spider-Man, and he followed them there. So it was really good, and the High Evolutionary is a really good villain in that show, and everything that they do with him, and then seeing what Marvel, like the MCU, did with him, and just, okay, he's angry and screams a lot, and he gets his face clawed off. Cool.
I probably liked it better than the second one. I do not like it. I do not like it. It's close with the first one for me. I like aspects of the third one better than the first one, and some aspects of the first one. My biggest issue with the first one is the villain of the first Guardians movie is bad even by their own shitty villain standards.
So good.
Because the villain in the first one is just fucking pointless. He's just like, he has no motivations, and he's on screen for all of like 5 minutes, which upon rewatch I realize doesn't really matter because it's not the point of the movie. It's just about the protagonist kind of getting together and establishing them because they need to establish them because they're going to be so important in the long run for, you know, that term of Marvel.
Does that 5 minutes include the time he shows up in Captain Marvel?
I honestly forgot he was even in Captain Marvel.
Oh, he came to Earth.
I just couldn't give less of a shit about that character. He's such a bad character.
I love him.
Really?
He's so over the top. He reminds me of Lord Zed, and I love him.
He has no character. He's just
so angry and pointless, and I love him, and he throws such tantrums.
But like the fucking villain in the third one does the same thing, and you like can't stand that one.
No,
it's the same shit.
He's screamy angry, not over the top angry. He's just a baby. the whole time. He's just an angry toddler tantrum beginning to end, and I feel like it's supposed to be humorous in places because he's like so angry and screaming when no one would scream at that, and he's angry and upset at everything he does because a baby raccoon figured out something he couldn't, but he hates the way the raccoon talks, and I don't know, he's so good.
Yeah, people that are saying like he's like great is crazy, but
I
feel like the only
time.
I feel like the only time they ever properly laid out a villain in that whole series was with the second movie.
I think that is the only movie in the MCU that I was sitting in the theater just like, oh my god, can we get on with it, please?
The second one or the third one?
The third one.
The third one, okay. Yeah, it's just so weird because I liked it a lot. It was honestly the first one of those I watched and liked on the initial viewing to that extent.
If they had cut like 45 minutes out of that movie, let me see. How long did it end up being? Because it was forever long. It's 2.5 hours. They need to cut like 45 minutes to an hour. Too long. Out.
I also feel like the fatigue of watching all of their movies in total catches up with you specifically because like you are by that point you're not able to be as excited about it because of, you know, when you watch the first Guardians, shit, you'd only watched like what, like you'd watch like 9 Marvel movies versus having watched 29.
The MCU is now Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but
or Assassin's Creed if you like.
Yeah, and with like what they're gonna do with Kang being up in the air now, I don't know what they're gonna do.
I like the ideas that the fans have thrown around on what to do with Kang, but we haven't heard anything yet from Marvel or Disney themselves.
Yeah,
except that Kang's out, which is a problem when all of your movies are interconnected and one of them ends with like 1,000 Kangs in a stadium.
But, yeah, it's gonna be kind of awkward when we have to kind of figure that whole thing out.
You know, as someone said about Spider-Man 2, it's comic books and they can figure it out and they can do whatever they want because it's comic books and it'll work. So,
they can. The problem is, I feel like so many people are mentally checked out of those movies because they've just been kind of sputtering along. It's like the next Captain Marvel movie came out and like. It's like, I don't know, like I'll watch it eventually on Disney Plus, but I am not going out of my way to watch it at all. And that's
just me, period.
I used to be excited even about the random offshoot movies, just because it was an MCU movie, and now it's no longer the case.
Yeah, I learned my lesson.
They burned a lot of bridges for me with the Eternals. I bitch about the movie all the time. The Eternals is like 5 hours long and nothing fucking happens in that movie. And then when something does happen, the giant fucking statue dudes sticking out of the earth, they just don't talk about it for like 8 movies. It's like, oh, okay.
Again, I know something about that.
Why did this movie happen? Like, why did we care?
I know you.
No one does. Okay.
I know you probably don't want to hear it, but I know something about that.
Oh, you can tell me. I don't fucking care. What is about it?
Supposedly, that's the plot about the next Captain America movie. Is the giant fucking hand sticking out of the earth.
What the fuck does that have to do with Captain America? I don't even fucking care.
I'll just watch the movie.
I will watch the next Captain America movie because I am invested in Captain America just because I like that series of movies. But yeah, I
don't know. After the series, I'm not that invested in Captain America anymore. That series was bad.
Yeah, it was very... That should have been like 3 episodes instead of 7. It would have done it a lot of favors. They stretched that shit real thin.
Kishore Hari on the Tested podcast, which is now gone, said that his theory is that they had to shift gears in the middle of it, and that's why it was bad, because they were clearly setting up like a plague or like a pandemic to be unleashed.
Yeah.
And it released in the middle of an actual pandemic.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh shit, pivot.
Pivot.
Like just tire screeching .wave plays. Like,
yeah.
What's your answer? We've been talking about mine for like 20 minutes.
What was the question? I'm honestly...
Oh yeah, you were most disappointed in yourself in 2023.
Okay, yeah, so I will kind of like I will spin it a little bit into, since I didn't watch anything I was like super disappointed in. I'll say like something that happened in 2023 as far as the movies that were released that surprised me. The D&D movie was actually really funny.
That's what I hear.
The D&D movie is actually really fucking good, and I was surprised at just how much I liked it because it had good hype around it. It has good writers behind it. It is a couple of the writers from Spider-Man: Homecoming who wrote it.
Can I tell you why I haven't watched it yet?
Why is that?
Because everyone I listen to on podcasts says that it completely erases the Jeremy Irons one, and they can finally pretend that didn't happen. And I love that movie.
Oh, well, you are the one. I've never seen it, but everyone fucking hates it.
It's so good. It's so good in all the worst ways. I love it so much. Dude,
no, but it just
if you want to
nutshell,
see Jeremy Irons just chewing the fucking scenery in a room by himself, because that whole movie, he's in a room by himself, the whole movie.
No, but the cast of the new one is really good too.
Yeah, I know Chris Pine's in it.
Yeah.
But
here's some praise that'll sway you towards watching it. I like Michelle Rodriguez in that movie.
Wow.
That is how highly I think of that movie.
I won't be able to fucking stand her then, because I love her and you don't.
And everything else.
Yeah.
No, she's good. She's funny. Everyone is written so well. And like you can watch that without knowing a damn thing about D&D, and it's just like a solid movie.
That was going to be my question, because if it's all in jokes and bullshit, then
it's not. It's really clever in the way that because I know a little bit about D&D, but I am by no means an expert. I just have a few friends that are like hardcore into it. So through osmosis, I know a little bit about D&D. It's like Onward. You know how like Onward has like a very solid movie with just like tidbits of the like more specific fandoms that it's centered around, like with D&D and stuff. It's sprinkled throughout. Cube. Exactly. It's like that. It's like the specific aspects of the fandom are kind of like just very, very lightly spread throughout, and it's not a distraction, and you don't need to know jack shit. It's just like it just works as a movie, and it's just well written. So that was my biggest surprise. I really fucking like the D&D movie. It was one of my big like surprises of the year. Granted, I watched like Ron like 7 fucking movies the whole year because it was the slow year.
So I didn't know how far you wanted to take this. I have a movie, if you wanted to pivot on the question, that most surprised me.
Yeah, we're talking about we're going up to 30 minutes, so let's run through pretty quickly, but yeah, we can talk about it.
I shockingly love the Little Mermaid movie a shocking amount.
It was good.
I could not care less about the animated Little Mermaid. It's not bad. I mean, the songs are okay, the animation's good, whatever. I just don't care. Like, it's just not aimed at me, and I don't care. Can I tell you a large portion of why I like that movie? Because not only are the performances good and the movie's good, and they did a lot of work in tying Eric back into it, because poor Eric is just a dumb shit in the original Disney movie.
Isn't that always the case though?
Like
the dude that's supposed to be the love interest in almost all of those movies.
Look up any picture of Eric from the original animated movie and tell me he knows what's happening in that scene. Like, just the way they animate him, he just looks dumb and pretty, right?
Yeah.
But like Eric was really cool. Like they did everything, but the thing that shocked me the most about that movie, I had no idea how they were going to pull off Ursula in that movie.
And she's great.
Oh my God, she's the best part of the movie.
Yeah, she's really good.
And
she has that voice down perfectly.
Oh my God. I'm blanking on her name right now.
Melissa McCarthy.
Yes. Yeah. So we've talked before about how I've got nothing personal against Melissa McCarthy. I'm sure she's a fine human being, but she always kind of represented to me, her movies anyway, or her characters in movies, kind of everything that's wrong with comedy right now.
It like defined the whole era of comedy for like 15 years. It's really unfortunate.
I just cannot stand to look at her or hear her. And I mean, she's appeared on other TV shows. I've seen her in interviews. She seems fine in real life. I don't know her political or religious views or anything, but I've never heard anything bad about her. I've never heard anything good. I've never heard anything bad. So just whatever with the the person, but her on screen I can't stand. And in The Little Mermaid, where the fuck has she been this whole time if she can give a performance like that?
Well, that's the thing though, is so what made her annoying to some people is that she kind of is what sold her, because she kind of pulled like a Rock for a long time, where
here we go.
People don't want you to act specifically, people want you. So she was like,
what people want is the Tooth Fairy, is what you're saying.
No, like what I'm saying is like people weren't wanting The Rock for a period of like 10 years to play anyone else but himself, because everyone just wanted to see The Rock. Everyone wanted to see Melissa McCarthy, and like I can't really like argue with her. She was getting work like constantly and just raking in the money.
Yeah, you can't blame her.
Yeah, you can't blame her for saying yes to all of these roles that were making her fucking rich. And it's like, it was always the same movie, but that's what they were hiring her for. She wasn't, striking out to, she was like the equivalent of like what Will Ferrell did for like 10 years, where Will Ferrell was always the same character because people wanted to see it, and the studios were like bending over backwards, just like, no, just be you and do the same shit for 10 years. And then eventually, it dies down and you have to kind of branch out. And she did this, and it like showed her range, and it's like, yeah, it was always there. It's just she was getting paid to do the same old shit because that's what studios and what like summer audiences wanted. So it's not really her fault.
But not only that, like Ursula is a legendary performance, not just a legendary Disney character, but that particular performance and that song is up there in the top 5 or maybe even top 3 of just most legendary Disney moments in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I hear they're remaking something that has something like that in it, I'm just like, well, good luck. We won't be seeing you for 5 years because everyone will think you're poison because you couldn't live up to a thing, right? But I mean, I like the song from the live action remake better than the animated one. And
yeah, it's crazy because like it's a very specific voice you have to pull off too.
And not only that, like Disney finally took in a live action remake of an animated movie and dialed it to 11 the way you do with an animation. Like the most bizarre, wacky thing you've ever seen on screen with real people should have been that Aladdin movie. But they just always have to keep things toned down and in the real world for some reason. Beauty and the Beast it has a talking clock and a talking candelabra. It should have been even more batshit insane than it was. But they always try to keep their feet on the ground, even with the good ones.
Well, they made them all, like, what was funny is like with the Beauty and the Beast ones, like, they come across as creepy to me because they're toning it down too much.
Exactly.
They're not cartoonish. They are creepy because they should be more animated. They should be more like cartoonish to me.
Only during the one song, Be Our Guest, do they do what Little Mermaid did the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what they should have been doing this whole time. We should have had Gus Gus and Cinderella, Jeff. Like, there should have been a Cinderella song from the Mice. But people are afraid, and it's producers, and God, if Kathleen Kennedy's name ever ends up on anything.
Why'd you have to say that out? Now I'm
oh
fucking...
God, that woman.
I gotta go puke up my fucking apple ice cream now, man. Why are you going? Bringing that shit
I'm
up?
really hoping Jon Favreau can rein her in on The Mandalorian and Grogu. But
if anyone could, it is how popular Mando has been will make her back the fuck up.
I feel like between being the Godfather of the MCU and the Mandalorian, that Jon Favreau just has ultimate powers at Disney. But yeah, I don't know. That Little Mermaid movie, and then one of the biggest pieces of dog shit I've ever seen came out in 2023 too. Have you seen The Flash yet?
I did see The Flash.
You did?
Yeah, I did see The Flash.
I'm sorry. You have my condolences.
Yeah, it's not good. I didn't hate it quite as much as you did, but it is not. It has some of the worst CGI I have ever seen, taking into account 90s movies. I don't know how their CGI was so bad.
I don't know how anyone who's ever suffered from an eating disorder can watch that movie and not be triggered.
Well, I honestly forgot. What was the eating disorder.
His powers are powered by eating. So
well, that's always been a thing with the Flash, though.
No. That's always been a thing that he eats a lot. It's never been a thing. I can't save these babies that are raining from the sky unless I zip from vending machine to vending machine, cramming as much food in my mouth as possible while they're falling to their death. Like he has a meter on his wrist that tells him how many calories he has to burn.
Yeah.
And
well, they're just like trying to come up with like a plot device to like.
I think it's supposed to be funny because he has food falling out of his mouth as he's just sitting there munching as these babies rain out of the sky. And I was like, it's disgusting to even watch the way he's ramming food into his mouth. And then I understand my childhood still exists. Batman 89 still exists. But I just... the most milquetoast way to fold in any character from any franchise into something and just have him repeat lines that we've heard him say again and again and do nothing else.
Yeah, it's pretty lame, unfortunately. Now Michael Keaton is just such a badass, so I still like him in some of those scenes just because he can't help but be likable because it's Michael Keaton.
He did great.
Yeah, it's just the writing.
You can tell even some of those lines would have been even worse if it hadn't been him delivering.
Oh, absolutely. Now, granted, I really like the final scene of the movie with George Clooney. I think the George Clooney thing is actually pretty funny.
Oh, I forgot about that.
The George Clooney thing is actually really funny because what was going to happen, I don't know if you probably didn't research this because you hated the movie, obviously. It was supposed to be Michael Keaton because they were going to be folding Michael Keaton in full time to the DC stuff. However,
I remember that.
It all got shit canned once James Gunn took over and was going to reboot everything. So James Gunn didn't want to have people continuously asking about Michael Keaton, so they'd made it a joke with, and you can tell it is the most James Gunn joke ever with them bringing in
Howard
Clooney.
The Duck.
Because it's exactly, it's a Howard the Duck thing, and I thought it was genius. The George Clooney thing.
The reason I found it funny is it was George Clooney. Legendarily hates Batman and Robin. Legendarily blames it for ruining his career.
The fact that he came back to do that is pretty awesome. Like, it's great. There was no way to redeem the whole movie because the whole movie is not redeemable, but it's pretty fucking great.
That is proof that James Gunn can make anything happen. The fact that he got George Clooney to show up for that scene. And then to have to deal with not one but two Ezra Millers.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And also, I think one of the biggest issues we got to get back on the actual, but one of the biggest issues with that movie too, you can tell like the writers and the director had differences in opinion on tone because it is like a roller coaster. It is like trying too hard to be funny. It's like trying too hard to be dramatic.
It's trying to be epic.
It's trying to be epic, but when it's trying to be epic, its CGI is so bad that it takes you directly out of the movie. Like the whole
it's Warner Brothers DC. If anyone has excellent CGI that lasts for 20, 30 years, it should be Warner Brothers DC.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Those CGI babies raining from the sky while he's sitting on top of a vending machine eating it.
It looks so bad.
That's the thing, by the way, that got me watching the movie. Did I tell you about that? I couldn't tell you about it before because you hadn't seen the movie. But Chris had
That's the opening scene. That's the opening scene.
Chris had it on in the background while we were recording a podcast. And when the podcast ended, she was like, Ron, I have to show you something. And she backed the movie up to the beginning. And she's like, you have to see him saving the babies raining from the sky. And I was like, I beg your pardon? And she was like,
so bad.
She was like, I don't remember how or why, but there are babies falling out of the sky and he's eating. And that's all he's doing. And I was like, what? And when she played it, it was the most absurd thing I've ever seen. And then it was a train wreck I couldn't look away from after that. I ended up sitting in the floor in my office, just watching the movie.
So, and it's also part of the problem with like the tonal differences with like the direction and the writing to me. That scene setup is like if Mel Brooks was making a superhero parody in 1980. that scene is not the standard level of comedy you put in your summer blockbuster Flash movie. You know, they have no idea what they're doing.
If you don't remember, there's a lot bigger problems with that movie than this. But the thing I cannot get out of my head is him with all manners of food stuffed in his mouth, just trying to eat it as fast as possible, like he's in an eating contest. It's worse than you remember. You need to YouTube that scene.
Or do I need to add that to my search history? I don't know if I need to do that.
I was just sitting there like, what am I watching? Because like you said, it's like something superhero movie would have done.
Yeah, it's not good. I couldn't bring myself to hate it quite as much as you did, just because I didn't have anything on the line with it. Because you know, the thing that was probably most like heartbreaking for you was like that was your chance to get more Michael Keaton as Batman, and for them to just like phone it in is a big bummer, you know.
Yeah.
But that is just a bummer to me. It's not a like knife to my childhood like it was for you. So I totally understand why you were so like passionately.
And I had just rewatched Batman '89. Just because I had been watching those trailers for the Flash so much. I can't say any word that starts with S after the word Flash without putting an H after it. I couldn't. I'd seen so many trailers for the Flash so much is what I went full Sean Connery and said. That I had to go back and watch Batman '89, and then that was immediately followed by the horse shit that was in the Flash. And like there was some cool moments, but it was just an opportunity for them to bring Michael Keaton in, wear the costume again, and just repeat all the same dialogue in a different context.
What was also a big bummer is the Flash. Now, granted, he doesn't have like a great rogues gallery, but he has a few like Mirror Master's cool.
Mirror Master's cool.
He has a few villains like that are really cool concepts that you could do really creative stuff in your fully budgeted movie. But our primary antagonist is going to be Zod again? That's so lame. Now I really liked Michael Shannon as that character. I like Zod as a character, but fucking be creative. Like you're already shoehorning in a version of Batman that people want to see. At least be creative with the villain in that aspect. You don't need to go back to do Zod again.
The other thing that disappointed me was I liked the idea of bringing in Supergirl, and like I like that character, and I like Power Girl, and they just did nothing with her really. Like she's barely in the movie, and that was one of my favorite story tidbits from Flashpoint Paradox. Is the fucked up Superman because he's never been exposed to sunlight and he's never had an education or anything or any human contact. And I was okay with them, you know, her still having a personality and shit and discovering her powers, but I feel like at that point the movie is just trying to, I mean, ironically rushing to the end of the movie as fast as it could, that they just put her on fast forward and left it. Like her whole storyline,
everyone's story was like that.
Yeah, she flies off, she listens to some people talking, comes back, okay, humanity's worth saving. Like in The Fifth Element, that is one of the greatest moments in the movie, is when she researches war and doesn't understand why life is worth saving or preserving or what is good about it.
Which is pretty valid because like, I can't argue with
the
that.
entire end of the movie hinges on it, right? Yeah. Like, come on. Like, that was one of the best ways to do that. And it felt like they were trying to invoke that, but there's no emotion to it and nothing to be gained by it. You know, there was no payoff to it.
Well, the whole movie is nothing but starts and stops.
If she had come back and snapped Zod's neck and put him back in the neck brace.
No, if Zod had shown up in the neck brace, dude, it's the movie of the year, and we're not having this conversation because it is the greatest thing committed to film.
If that plotline with Zod had been his dead body got exposed to sunlight and he just came back with a broken neck, come on.
He's got to use one of those like little like massager things to like get the crick out of his neck, you know?
Oh, it's so good. That's one of the greatest things I've ever seen on the internet, is him at the bar with the neck brace. Is it Loki? Is that the other character?
Yeah, I think so. Was it How It Should Have Ended? Was it that?
Yes.
Series with like the villains?
Yeah,
like,
it's
at the bar or whatever.
Yeah, Superman and Batman are in the diner, and then Loki and Zod in the neck brace.
Yeah.
At the bar.
It's so good. It's such a good joke. we got to get back on topic for the movie though. We've talked, but we've had this has essentially just been an extended green room. So you're welcome, everybody.
Welcome to the Green Room Podcast, episode 1.
And you know what? We'll just blame Bobby because Bobby started talking about 2023 movies, which of course turned into a 30-minute Ron rant about how much he hated The Flash and how much he hated Guardians 3.
It turns out I just don't like movies, Jeff.
It turns out you just fucking hate everything.
Yep.
Yeah. And now we can just end the podcast because, like, this I hate. This fucking sucks.
It is
a waste
weird
of my
that
time.
in 2023 it turns out I was oddly more critical than I usually am.
Well, to be fair, you watched like 6 fucking movies. So
yeah.
So you liked Little Mermaid. You hated The Flash. You hated Guardians. What else did you watch that you actually liked? Was there like a 50-50 batting average at least of stuff that you liked versus what you hated?
John Wick 4, I loved. Ant-Man.
I love John Wick 4.
I can do an entire podcast by myself defending Ant-Man 3.
I thought Ant-Man 3 was fine. I didn't love it or dislike. I thought it was fine.
People just need to shut the fuck up.
People go out of their way to shit all over Ant-Man, and I don't get that. I think
don't
they're perfectly.
get it.
It's like I don't. They're specifically always set up to be the kind of like comedic relief movies. We're just gonna chill for a while. We've just had Thanos turn like 1,000 people into fucking dust out of the main character cast alone. So just chill the fuck out for a little bit and enjoy your Ant-Man movie. We just want to vibe for a bit, but people just like go out of their way to hate on every Ant-Man movie.
The Ant-Man movies are where you go to decompress, right? After they bring in the Ant-Man movies after all the big Avengers movies where the universe is at stake. I just want people to fight over a lab the size of a briefcase for a while. Yeah. You know?
What's so ironic is like the one time the Ant-Man movie was super important setup was for King, which is now going to be totally changed. So all of that setup is effectively worthless. It's so ironic that happened with the King stuff.
Kang was done so good in that movie.
Yeah, he's good.
And the best superhero movie I saw in 2023 outside of Ant-Man had to have been the Paw Patrol movie. But I didn't see that until 2024. I don't think. Did I see that at the end of the year or the beginning of the year? I might have seen that in December.
If it's a 2023 new movie, I think it counts regardless of when you watched it. Because it was from basically like the last year, so it's fine. But yeah, I do think it's funny that you love the Paw Patrol movie and fucking hated Guardians 3 and The Flash, though. That's really funny.
Yeah, the Paw Patrol movie is really good.
My favorite superhero thing I saw all year, granted it's not in the same kind of tone because it's specifically setting out to be different. The fucking second season of Loki was awesome.
Second season of Loki, the second season of Loki is pretty good.
It's really good. It was just they set out to like
the best season of Doctor Who I've seen in a long time.
Goddamn right it is. It was like specifically written to be Jeff Crack, and I love them for it. And some of the directors from Loki season 2 are directing episodes of Daredevil Born Again, which I'm excited about.
My god, I've seen screenshots.
I'm so you know me, I fucking love my Daredevil, dude, and I'm fucking frothing at the mouth Fry style.
See?
Just to get more Daredevil. I can't wait.
You love Daredevil. I love Ninja Turtles. They're a parody of Daredevil. We just got to do a double feature, that Turtles movie we missed, and another episode right after that talking about the Daredevil season.
We also need to cover that Batman and Turtles thing, because I never got around to seeing that.
Yeah, we should probably also cover When Evil Lurks. It's been 47 minutes.
I don't think we have to. I mean, you got anything else you want to talk about? We can just not talk about the movie. That's the title of the episode, I guess. When Evil Lurks outside the green room.
If we did individual episode titles, that would be it.
That's pretty good. Like you put it in parentheses at the end of it, outside the green room.
Yes.
It's pretty good. Okay. This is the biggest spoiler warning I have ever put down in the show, I think, outside of maybe like Hereditary. If you are interested in horror, you need to watch When Evil Lurks because you have no idea like what you're in for, because this movie is fucking relentless.
Dude.
This movie...
That's the best way to describe this movie, is relentless.
This movie is brutal. You are not prepared.
I was not.
I heard very little about the plot. All I heard was this movie is fucking insane and you have to watch it. and it's a horror movie. So obviously I was like, yeah, I'm sold. I'll watch it eventually. And even with all of that like mental buildup of like people like really like this and it's very highly regarded and it has this reputation about it, I was still surprised by how insanely brutal and relentless it is. So as I said, if you are interested in horror, if you are a horror fan at all, go watch this on Shudder. You can get a free trial if you've never had it. It's like $4 to rent. It's if you are a horror person, you have to watch this because this is the most tense I've been watching a horror movie since the first time I saw Hereditary all those years ago. I was on the fucking edge of my seat because they established so early on that the movie just couldn't give less of a fuck.
Yeah.
And it is not going to pull any fucking punches.
And it does not.
It does not. Man. Yeah. So like, what's your kind of like initial reaction that you'd like to talk about to it?
Not for me.
Really? Was it like too hardcore? Did it like dip too far into like the brutal aspects of it?
I don't like it when things happen to kids. I can't. I just can't with the kids.
Those scenes are fucking haunting too.
Yeah.
We'll talk about them. Yeah, if you have a problem with watching and that's part of what leads to the kind of Hereditary vibe around this is that it's more brutal with which is crazy to say that it's more brutal about how they kill the kid than what Hereditary did. But it totally does. It pulls no punches in those scenes. It's hard to watch.
Times.
It's very the one with the dog to me is the hardest to watch.
That's the one I knew it was coming.
Yeah. Dude, the way they frame the shots around the dog and the girl too, you know it's coming and you can't do anything about it, and it just makes it all the worse. And you're just like you're already like squeamish about it, and it hasn't even happened yet. It's crazy. So I totally get that. But what's interesting is like those scenes we're talking about where it is insane are what made me like it so much. It was because I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen next. Like,
well, I also feel like there's a cultural touchstone I don't have because I also didn't really fully feel like I ever understood what was happening at the same time.
See, that's actually something I found interesting about it. Is the movie has lore around it in like a Dark Souls style. Take a drink. But it's very Dark Souls in that they just establish nouns of stuff that their society knows about, like the cleaners. And
it's a very lived-in world.
I love the fact that they don't spoon feed you any backstory about like the rotten or anything until like halfway through the movie when the little kid is asking the grandma about stuff.
Right.
They're very, very patient about like doling out information, which was me with my fly hands. You know, I love shit like that where I'm trying to kind of like I like, so if it's definitely handled like this is, I like it when they are subtle about giving you information about instead of just like spoon feeding shit to you like what always happens in specifically kind of like cheesily done like American zombie movies are really bad about just here. So the first 30 minutes we're going to establish all the bullshit about like how this like came to happen, and it's, you know, there's no mystery around it. I like how this has like a mystery element around like its backstory with the cleaners and stuff.
Yeah.
So that part is all
I got
cool.
A real Eileen the Crow vibe from the cleaner lady.
You know what aspect of the cleaners I also fucking love?
What's that?
By the time you finish the movie, the cleaners could be total horseshit.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
It like they have these rules that are like sung in a song. The movie specifically keeps it very narrow focused around just this family. And people obviously don't respect the cleaners that much because guess what? It's always a problem because they're not successful. They're not efficient at what they do.
At least not that we've seen. Yeah.
Not that we've seen. The rotten, like the case at the beginning with the effect of the rotten is also just like it makes your fucking it's so gross.
So gross.
It's real hard to watch. But man, let's back it up a little bit. I'll give like the kind of like general plot breakdown of it, because this is a fairly new movie. This isn't, we're not talking like The Thing or Alien, where it's kind of like a, built-in part of film where everyone knows, like, even if you haven't seen Alien or The Thing, like, their basic plot lines. So like what this is When Evil Lurks. It's directed by and written by Damien Rugna. Just a quick apology.
I'm gonna let
we're
you
going to
do
butcher
the names.
we're going to butcher everyone's names, because this movie is from I think it was filmed in Argentina. So we are gonna butcher names. I apologize. Damien Rugna is the director and writer. He's written and directed some other horror films. There's another one he did called Terrified that is supposedly kind of in this same ballpark, as far as like you're watching the movie and it is a thrill ride of what the fuck could possibly happen next. Is what I just watched is already like shocking. Which I'm curious about. But so like the basic plotline of this movie is two brothers find after hearing gunshots in the middle of the night, they go to investigate. They find a fucking person who has been cut in half,
and they are so unsurprised by what they find.
I love that little detail of how this would be terrifying and horrifying, and you would go into like the fecal position and not be able to process that you just saw like the bottom
did you
half
say
of a
the
human.
fecal position or the fetal position?
Oh, sorry, the fetal position. Sorry, I'm already.
Hang on,
this
Jeff.
movie
I need to pause the recording. I need to go get in the fecal position for a minute. I'll be right back.
Sorry, some of the shit that happens in this movie, you will be like, dude, it's terrifying. It's terrifying.
That's our new metric for horror movies, dude. I was in the fecal position the whole time.
You are when you watch this shit. I'm just telling you. So I love the fact that they are not bothered in the slightest.
Literally, they walk up and he goes, "Well, shit."
It's an inconvenience.
Yeah.
Man. It's like someone knocked over like their fucking mailbox. It's not like they found half of a corpse.
And that alludes to a past, right?
Yeah. I think like the world building in this movie is really cool. I think how they are establishing like how fucked up their society is subtly, just with their kind of nonchalant reaction to this, is like really cool. And you're just like, oh god, if this is a day that ends in Y, what the fuck else are you in for with this movie and with their society? So they start investigating around and they end up finding what is described. It's like a capitalized noun too. They find this person that is called the Rotten.
Yes.
And so what this is
like a Dark Souls or Bloodborne or Demon Souls villain, right? Or enemy.
Yeah, exactly. There is a lot of kind of like Bloodborne to this, where there is just like a capitalized word that establishes something that is like a kind of built-in part of the society that is horrifying. But this is an interesting kind of like possession movie in the fact that it's clearly this was clearly written in the time of COVID. Because this is what's pretty much like a virus. Like if you kill this person who is infected, they're going to have this like kind of birth of a demon spawn thing happen, which also leads to it kind of like going like viral in the area where like animals will be infected. It will start to infect children, and then eventually it can infect people. And it's
like a zombie movie without the zombies.
It's like a zombie movie without the zombies that also is very kind of like Exorcist driven as far as a possession. It's kind of like this like, interesting blend between like Contagion, The Exorcist, and like Dawn of the Dead, like all at the same time. And it's pretty cool in how they're taking like established tropes from separate things, and when you kind of put it together, it kind of becomes like its own like original thing, because it's not strictly speaking like original, but when you add these kind of like things and they're all like kind of like mashed together, it makes it like an interesting setup to me. And dude, the special effect of the fucking rotten guy, I don't think I'm gonna be able to like enjoy a meal for a while just thinking about that fucking dude. It's fucking haunting. And the kind of like basic plotline of this is since it's viewed as a kind of thing that can go viral in the area, what they want to do is they want to relocate this out of their town, which also leads to more of a kind of like Walking Dead type aspect to this, where it's like humanity is so fucked, we don't care if 2 towns over is fucked. We care about our own little society. Like, we want our own town to be fine. If everywhere else around us is fucked up, who cares? Because humanity's already kind of gotten to shit. And like, interesting enough too, like, they never show you like a big city. It's always kind of like a small town or like a small, like a very, very small, like rural area where
which I think is supposed to lend into their belief in the superstitious nature of what's happening.
Yeah. It's a hard movie to talk about.
People in the big city wouldn't go for this, right? No one would believe what's happening. But in this, every time someone mentions that there was a rotten, everyone pauses. Whether they really believe it or not, they pause for a moment when that's brought up.
But they've also had these types of outbreaks like happen in big cities before, because there are characters they talk to that have like run into it. At one point they talk about how like there's a local town that has gone dark.
Right.
So they're constantly alluding to how this like has affected their society and like humanity as a whole, but you never see it. It'd be like if the story of John Carpenter's The Thing got out and humanity, you know, like let's say like we take the hypothetical ending of The Thing where it kind of goes wide as far as like getting to other areas, but it never does like the total human takeover like it was expected, you know?
Yeah.
And some people are like calling bullshit on it. Some people like it's weird. And it's kind of like subtlety and restraint around like the world building is like what I found interesting about it, and that you don't really find that much out about the cleaners. I love that I don't know if they're full of shit or not. Their rules are arbitrary. Like when they're talking about how, you know, you can't bring anything with you, that ends up playing out. And there's like some of the rules become proven, and some of the rules like don't. Like, what difference would it make with shooting the thing versus you have to kill it with this like holy relic weapon that is never explained, you know? Stuff like that. Like some of the cleaner rules are like explained sort of, but not really, and you don't know if all of them are legit or not.
Yeah, well, they explicitly say that shooting it with a gun will splatter it, right?
Yeah.
But man, one of my favorite things about anything supernatural that comes from outside of the US is all of the rules around it, right? Like Japanese hauntings are very famous for that same thing, having a set of rules that not only you have to go by, but the ghost has to go by also, right? Mm-hmm. And that was one of my favorite parts of this movie, actually, was the fact that there is these like 7 things that you have to do.
And at the same time, it's like people are very strict about wanting to follow the rules, and then there are other aspects of it to where like one of the fucking most disturbing scenes of the movie is the pregnant woman killing herself with the axe.
Oh my god.
She believes in these rules so much, she is willing to kill herself and her unborn kid with an axe.
Is that what happened?
After killing her husband, and because she believes so much in like how much that he just fucked them all over by shooting the possessed.
See, that wasn't
goat.
my read on it.
What was your read on the scene?
She said like if he does this, he'll like damn them all and all that. And then I took it as he moved on from the goat when he shot the goat, and the demon caused that. Did
the demon cause that? So it's kind of like
that was
ambiguous.
my take on it.
Because so like my take on it is the wife was very, very strict about following the rules, right? She did not want the husband shooting the goat to spread it.
Right.
So my read on it was, since the wife was so devoted to following the rules because the husband shot the goat and spread it, the woman didn't want to potentially subject her family and her baby to what was just spread because he shot the goat. So she, in that moment, believes in the rules so much, she kills the dad, herself, and the baby to save them from what's about to come because of how much she believes in what's about to happen because it was just spread. That's how I took it.
There's something about her demeanor when she's doing it that it just makes me feel like that the demon is the one responsible for it. That it took her over like it did other people in the movie.
But then again, what does the demon have to gain by just killing them? Because the demon would want them to continue spreading it instead of just killing themselves. And like by killing each other with like, if she had gone and gotten the gun to shoot herself and the dad to spread it more by their own rules, I would say, yeah, that makes sense. But to me, the way that she kills him with the axe is like telling, and that she's kind of like trying to keep not only themselves like it's like a mercy killing almost. And by killing themselves with the axe, she is preventing further spreading by not shooting them when they are infected.
Yeah, I took it as that's what she already had in her hands, because she didn't want him to shoot the goat. She wanted him to use the axe, and she was going to get the axe, and then he shot the goat when she had the axe in her hands. And then she started acting kind of like what's her face did later in the movie, when she went to get the kid after she resurrects.
Yeah. But,
I don't know.
Just the fact that it's not clear is interesting, because that's a very important part of the movie. And what I was going to bring up though is that you see how much the wife believes in the rules, and how she's going to get the axe, because she wants, if the husband's going to kill the goat, she doesn't want it shot because she believes in the rules. However, later on in the movie, the grandma in the main family is just talking about the rules very nonchalantly and explains how like the rules have even become like an old wives' tale, and they're part of like a little kids like sing along thing. It's it's an established like kids song.
Like, who knows how much of this is even true at this point?
Yeah, you don't know what part of it is believed to be legitimate within their society, or it's just superstition. And like all the shit with the rules and everything is really cool, because it's all like layers of layers of these like rules that could potentially ruin society, but you don't know like how fucked society already is, because it's always just showing like the micro. And it's like there's a lot of like interesting world building with this movie that they'll probably fuck up by making a sequel and like explain too much about. But I like how like hazy it is in the movie as it stands currently. It's like a new kind of horror series potentially, and it probably is successful enough to get sequels. So I will be curious to see like what they elaborate on. But one of the things I like so much about the special effects, the sound design when these like horrific things are happening is usually very subtle. Even when she's axing herself, it's very quiet. Most of the kills are very, very subdued, and it makes it more creepy to me when it's not in your face like a lot of like American horror is when they have killings. They're very like slasher-esque. This is like typically very, very subdued, and it's just kind of quiet and creepy.
Yeah, the other thing I noted too was I don't remember a whole lot of music. Like I remember.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's very quiet when it comes to the score. Yeah, that's a good point.
The music happens like when they're driving down a road, like 28 Days Later style or something. Like it doesn't really happen during the moment. So in American horror, we're used to a musical cue for what's about to happen or when we should start feeling tense. And in this movie's very quiet.
I think it also adds like a lot to the like they're in the middle of fucking nowhere aspect to it.
It
feels more remote when it's so quiet.
Yeah. There's also the fact that I may not have heard it with what all was happening on screen.
Dude, it fucking grabs you. One of the things I like most about the movie, and I applaud them for it, is the movie is only 99 minutes long with credits.
Yeah.
The movie does not fucking let up, because there's no time to, because they have cut every little additional scene and minute that's like not necessary to moving the story along, or like establishing a little bit of backstory with the characters. The main characters are also very, vague as far as what you can believe or not. I like the little tidbit where there is, with the main character, Pedro, there is this kind of rumor around town that he wanted to kill himself and kill the kids. And that's what led to like their divorce and the wife getting the custody and everything. And his brother is adamant about saying, no, that was just a rumor. That was just bullshit. It ends up being true.
His brother, Trevor. That's all I could think every time I saw him. I think it's the mustache. All I could think the entire time is that this is Trevor from Grand Theft Auto, but speaking Spanish.
Bro, if you put Trevor from Grand Theft Auto in When Evil Lurks 2,
oh god,
that is the movie I would pay to see.
I'm one of the few people that hates Trevor so much.
Oh really? I love Trevor.
Yeah, I can't stand Trevor.
Yeah, I get it though. I totally get it.
Yeah, the 99 minutes is appreciated because this movie since I can't with this movie, basically, there was a long 99 minutes for me.
See, it's a long 99 minutes because I was just fucking flabbergasted at how dark this movie is. This movie makes Hereditary feel like a Teletubbies episode, dude.
Yeah, I felt like
heavy.
I just needed to read a chapter in the Bible and go hug my kids when this was over. Like I can't with the kid stuff.
Let's talk about the first scene with the kids, because it is fucking haunting. So
generally I'm okay with cannibalism, but the way it's done in this movie,
oh, it's so fucked up, dude. They're so it's because they're casual about it.
I was just like, I can't. No, I can't. There's so much in this movie I can't.
They're so fucking, dude. When the brother is driving, and one of the most like shocking moments of the movie is where the main you think there is going to be a third act of them trying to save the little boy.
Yeah.
No. That fucking uncle just drives down the road and finds the mom. Dude, like, can you even explain like how nonchalantly she's just fucking eating the kid? And you're just like, good God,
is that what she's doing? Because
she has cut off the top of the kid's head and is eating his brains.
To me, it looked like she had punched through it, and she was just flinging it on the ground like the flower girl at a wedding. Is what I saw.
She's eating it. She's eating it, and it's
that's
just
worse.
Like, yeah, she's just walking down the fucking side of the road, and the uncle drives past and sees it, and just has to stop the car and like catch his breath, just like the audience does, because you're just like, good God, dude, I thought that was gonna be like a whole third act of the movie, and they're just like, nope.
What?
that subplot's done.
What movie is it that is popping into my head with someone on a bicycle and then getting hit and then popping up on all fours, but like backwards?
You're probably thinking of In the Mouth of Madness.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yep.
That's it. It had In the Mouth of Madness vibes to that scene for me, with him driving past and then just like not noticing, like the lady on the bicycle.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it was reminding me of.
He freezes because he's trying to not. He can't like formulate a reaction to it because it's so shocking.
How could you?
And he's exactly. And and it's like similar to like the Hereditary thing, like when the brother accidentally kills Charlie. You know, he's just sitting there frozen, and he can't bring himself to turn around because like the truth is too terrifying. He just can't. You just freeze. It's like, good God, dude, it's so fucked up. But let's talk about the one with the dog, because this was probably the moment where you were just like, nope, I can't. I'm out.
This is the moment when I was just like, I don't think this is for me.
And this was the moment where I was just like, I'm so in on this because I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen next. So after they have relocated the Rotten, which is like the what's like the like patient zero type of thing, where this is like what's gonna be the center point of the outbreak.
Which at this point, you still don't know how bullshit this is or not at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't. So the main character, after having moved the patient zero point of the outbreak, goes to collect his kids and is also trying to get his ex-wife out of town. He's trying to tell them all because his ex-wife has remarried. has had another child, and is it two of the kids that are still Pedro's? I believe. Yeah, it's
Yes.
just the two boys.
Yeah, the daughter is the other guy's kid.
Yeah. He's
The
going
new
to get them all
husband.
out of he's going to get them all out of town. And they don't believe him because there's a lot. It's mostly just superstition at this point. A lot of people believe in it, but a lot of people don't. And because he has brought the clothes which have the scent, and this was one of the rules, is you don't bring anything with you, including your clothes. So them bringing their clothes with them is a huge fuck up. Their family dog goes over, sniffs his clothes, and do the shots that they linger on the dog sitting next to the child for so long, it makes your skin crawl, dude, because you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen. They've been constantly talking about how like the first things that change are the animals. They've already had the scene with the goat. And when the dog goes freaking nuclear and mauls this kid, and most of it happens off screen, but what they show you is fucking brutal, dude. It is a level of a movie just like pulling back like all the stops.
It is thankfully...
You don't see this in America ever.
No.
It's not possible for this to be filmed in America. Like this scene could not happen if it was filmed in America. It's too brutal.
Yeah. It is thankfully the only place where the effects kind of don't hold up because it's clearly a doll being shucking around.
Yeah.
And like that is a relief for me, even though I know none of this is real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's hard to watch. Even with you being able to like disassociate from the scene with looking at the CGI and everything, the thought of it does wonders as far as just like freaking you the fuck out to where like you couldn't even like you couldn't because it's with kids, like it was something that you just like couldn't get on board with because it's too real at times.
like
with it.
this movie for me finds the line of how far I'm willing to go in a horror movie and takes like one step past it.
One step too far.
Like if everything in this movie was dialed back one step behind the line, just one step, this movie would be right up there because the world building and the story and what is going on and the demonology and who the fuck are the cleaners, with Eileen the Crow being the main cleaner in the movie.
Right.
Like just everything is right there. But it always has to take what's happening and just go one step too far for me, and then that would push me away from it. Like I'm in the pocket for this movie, but I just can't get on board because it's just too much.
And that's what's so interesting is like the fact that it goes so hardcore about it is what got it its reputation. So it's like I totally get like what you're saying, and that reaction is gonna be what happens with a lot of people, because this is a movie that's gonna like test the boundaries of like how much you can withstand what they will do in a horror movie, because this is breaking tropes that are specifically like American movie tropes, you know? Like what's one of the things that we don't do in horror movies in most instances in America is we're not gonna kill the kids. And if we kill the kids, it's going to happen fully off screen and not in horrific fashion, because we just usually kind of dance around that. You know, that's not what we do. And this movie is really like testing American audiences that check this out, because some people are going to be on board for it. I ended up being so shocked by it that it was it kept me on the edge of my seat so much that I wanted to see what would happen next so much, and with the world building, like it all worked for me. But at the same time, it's so brutal and so just absolutely fucking relentless that I can't argue with anyone having that reaction, because it's so valid, because it's a devastating movie at times to watch.
Yeah, and like I said, you know, like I'm in a weird place with it because I said I'm in the pocket for this movie.
There's so much of it you like.
Yeah, but I just can't with how far it goes. I just can't bring myself to be like, oh, that was lovely. That was a lovely scene. But everything, it's filming techniques and everything. This is a good movie.
It's really well
shot. I can tell just by looking at it. It's well composed. The scenes are well composed. It's well shot. The pacing is pretty good. The horror is horrific. Um, I just it's just one step too far for me every time.
You know what it is? It is 90 minutes of the third act of Hereditary.
Yeah.
And like the third act of Hereditary, its trick is that it goes so hardcore that you don't know where it's gonna go next. And it's like that for 90 minutes. But the thing is, like with Hereditary is like giving you time to kind of like breathe. It's a lot more of like a slow burn with the character development. And the character development and the world building is a lot more in the background of When Evil Lurks. And it's just like so focused on that third act Hereditary kind of like shock value. And I typically don't go for that type of shock value, but I think a lot of these things that it's doing where it is setting up like what you think is going to be like an element to the movie, like them saving the little boy, and they just instantly pivot in a totally different direction that I find like really captivating. Where
See, and I wonder how much of that plays into
you having kids.
well that and
Yeah.
just the fact that we are Americans watching
True.
American-made movies, because when it comes to movies and TV, Americans are famously babies, as seen by the rest of the world.
Yeah.
The rest of the world thinks that our so what we consider to be really kind of far out there media, the rest of the world considers us to be babies about it. So I wonder how this plays in other theaters around the world versus like us sitting here talking about just how shocking this movie is. If it was shocking
like,
for anyone else,
if it was like par for the course,
yeah,
for, other, yeah, it'd be interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting elements to this that there's no like correct answer to, because like what the movie is like specifically setting out to do is to like challenge tropes and like challenge the boundaries of like what you're allowed to fucking show on a movie. Because when I'm watching this movie and I see the fucking mom walk down the side of the road eating her kid's brains,
yeah,
and it all happens off screen in a very like heartbreaking way where like they never had a chance at saving this poor kid. It's so bleak that is a total turnoff to some people. They're not going to be able to even probably finish the movie because they're just like, I can't, like it's too much. And I think this is also going to like be very, very up to the levels to which people can be horror junkies, because this was very, very highly touted in the like the horror scene, because those people, that are so ingrained in horror, that have seen all the like, even fucked up shit that I haven't seen, they want to like see this kind of shock value. And I do think that it plays with the shock value well. Like it never feels cheap. It just feels brutal, which I think is fine. Cause it's not them trying to be, like the famous thing that you and I always point to is like some of the moments of The Walking Dead that were very cheap. It never does that. It's just intense, and it's incredibly intense when it has those moments.
Yeah, I'm fine with a movie with a downer ending, but the bleakness of the movie as a whole, I think, is another thing that just kind of turned me off on it. Like I'm fine with bleak, but this movie is so dark.
Yeah, it's very oppressive. It's very heavily inclined to present this like whole story as they were fucked from the get-go, in large parts to like their own doing, because they are actively breaking the rules sometimes. But in their defense, you don't know how much of it is bullshit or not. Like,
I was gonna say, or
like,
are they?
with the thing at the end, I think the climax of the movie with them trying to like pull out the rotten so that the Eileen the Crow lady you talked about, so that
Does she
can
not
use this.
feel like Eileen the Crow? Like I'm too old for this shit. Why are you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like he's going to get the axe. Her like what's the difference? She's talking about how like we have to kill this thing with this specific thing and this specific, like all these like sub clauses of a rule book that no one fucking knows about.
Well, the problem is she knows the kids are gonna get her, right?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like from his point of view is it's just like, what makes that different? Why is that the secret? You don't know. It's like like wanting to like go on faith to an extent that he's not willing to go, because it's like, I can just use the fucking axe and just end this shit, you know. And
but it's a trap.
And yeah, it is a trap, but it's like, what's the difference as far as like what weapon we use? Does that really matter if because it's still a fucking melee weapon? It's not like he was going to use a gun.
I don't think it has to do with the axe. I think it's the fact that he left.
Yeah,
was her problem.
Mm-hmm.
At least the way that I read it, it had less to do with the axe itself and more the fact that you can't trust anything that the kids say, and this kid is telling him about this axe that can help him out in the hall, and the first thing that happens when he steps out is the door slams shut and they wire the door shut and kill the lady with the hammer.
Yeah,
because the demon is already inside his head. That's been established.
Yeah, that's another part of it too, that it's hard to say like how much are they actually like under the control already of this shit, because they're very hazy on the details as far as how much possession is happening or not, you know.
Yeah,
it's obviously happening with many of the kids, but they're vague about how much it's influencing like adults. If you're not already as like a zombie, you know, like obviously the mom is under the control of the shit because she's pretty much a possessed zombie, you know.
Yeah,
but how much is like Pedro being possessed into? It's like a little bit of like Evil Dead stuff as far as how much of the stupid, and I actually kind of like that, because obviously stupid decisions have to be made by characters in a horror movie or you don't get the horror, you know, like they have to make dumb decisions. So I think it is clever when you can build in at least like a little bit of like credibility to like, yeah, you made a dumb decision, but you're also in an insane situation. It's tough, and obviously he's not you know, like a well-centered individual to begin with.
Yeah.
So I am sympathetic. It's like, I think like a probably what would be like a common read of this movie is like people hating on Pedro, and like, yeah, like, but he's in an impossible situation and he was already like a shithead, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that he doesn't save the fucking world. So it's like, I think there's some like takes on the ending of the movie that kind of would defeat the purpose, because it is going after this whole situation as being they were fucked from the get-go, you know.
Yeah, and one of my things, since you bring it up, one of my things about this movie that I do really like is it's not about saving the world. The dude's just trying to save his family, and he fails to do that. But it's not like he's in this to save the world. Nothing about his motivation is about saving the world.
It's about saving his family, because like we talked about earlier,
because
the characters
Pedro is nothing else. He's a family man, Jeff.
The extent to which nobody gives a flying fuck about humanity at large is actually kind of cool,
right?
I really appreciate how everyone in the movie is kind of a shithead about that.
Yes.
You know, because there isn't that kind of part of the movie where there is the kind of push and pull of like right versus wrong on like a macro level. They're just like, fuck that, dude. You know, I don't give a shit if 2 cities over has a fucking demon apocalypse. If my family's all right, I'm chill with it. Whatever. We'll circle back around to those problems later on.
We'll get there eventually.
Yeah. We'll get there eventually.
That's the sequel hook. The Dark City. When Evil Lurks, the Dark City. Yeah.
This movie, it becomes almost like so bleak to the point of it exceeds even some of its like inspirations. Where like, think of how this essentially has the same ending as In the Mouth of Madness. The characters were fucked like the whole time. The point of the movie is that they were fucked the whole time.
No one had a nuke to drop on Cthulhu in this.
Yeah, no one had a way to really save the day because they were just fucked from the get-go because they're out of their element. But think of how much more bleak this feels versus that movie. It's kind of impressive just how fucking dour they managed to make this ending in just 99 minutes of setup. Like, I think the movie is incredibly impressive for how like low-key it is about how it's both like over the top and subtle at the same time in a way I can't fully explain. Like, you just have to watch it because it's fucking bonkers. And if you watch it and can't finish it, I wouldn't blame you. Like, it's fucking dour. It is like nothing else I've ever seen. It even exceeds the kind of like shocking moments of like Hereditary. Now, Hereditary is like 10 times better as a film than this, but I do really appreciate like what they were going for with this, because like we talked about, like, this shit can't be made in America. And, like, more power to them for kind of like testing the waters on like what American audiences are even like willing to accept, as far as like, that's not that, like, like you said, like, that shit's not okay.
Yeah,
It's not okay, and that's the point.
Exactly.
You know? And it's interesting. I think this movie will lead to a lot of interesting discussions over the years to come, and if they elaborate further on this like setup, I'll be interested. Like, if they, which they probably will, I think they probably will make a sequel, and I will be very interested to see how much they elaborate on the world building, how much they leave mysterious versus what they explain. I think if they explain stuff in like a kind of Lovecraftian way, where it can kind of spiral out to include like more elements of its own mythos, it can be really cool.
Spiral out. Uzumaki?
Dude, like, there's some that you say that there's some Junji Ito to this.
Oh,
with,
yeah.
like, with the body horror, especially with the rotten. Like, he looks like a Junji Ito character, dude.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he absolutely does. Yeah. I hope they don't fuck it up.
I had a problem with the way that they kind of paint autistic children, or children on the spectrum, as we say now. Also, I didn't care for that.
Yeah, I think that is a very, very delicate tightrope to walk. Because I kind of like understand what they were going for as far as how would like demonic possession come into play with that, which is you know, like, well, that's potentially kind of interesting.
Well, like, historically, there's a lot of real life demonic possession stories that the child was probably just on the spectrum, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of bad stuff there.
Yeah. I would not have included that.
Yeah,
that is also our country's kind of like probably more strict viewpoints on that, you know, just as far as like what they're kind of, because I don't have that kind of like cultural background as far as like, maybe they're a little bit more.
Well, this movie is also really rooted in superstition, so I understand why they were including it. I think the thing that just kind of made it like this took away from the movie for me is when she ended up being right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
In a weird way, that kind of drove home the point of like, I don't really care for that.
But
much.
it also wasn't just the fact that he was autistic that she was pointing out. It was specifically, because she points out, like, when she makes the uncle, like, you know, believe her, it's when his hands are turning blue. You know, like, she's pointing out like other symptoms. It's not just that he's autistic. So like, there's a little bit more.
But there's the thing that, like, when he's upset and stuff, that like he bites himself. And then, like, you add in the cannibalism part later, and it's like,
true.
Yeah.
That
part's a little icky to me.
It is. And also just might be similar to what we were talking about earlier with like the child deaths and everything. We typically, as Americans, approach the subject by not approaching the subject. We just completely, you know, divert away from it. They might be a little bit more relaxed about that than we are, which, you know, I can't say. But yeah, I agree. There are some moments like that can make people probably a little bit squeamish about it.
It doesn't help that I was kind of already like, oh, this movie is one step over the line for me to begin with, and then we got this. So that probably hit me a little bit harder than it probably would have otherwise. But
true.
Yeah, like I said, this is a movie that is firmly in the. To me, it's a good example of, like, the movie is just straight up not for me. Like I said, I can tell by looking at it that it is a good movie. It's well written. It's well made. The effects are good. The acting is good. The lighting, like I said, the composition in it. When there is music, the sound design, like, everything about this movie is good. I can tell by looking at it. I'm looking at a good movie. it's just not for me.
It's just pushing subjects that are stuff that you're not, and that's
But
totally
I'm not.
fine.
It's going deeper than I'm comfortable with. But
Yeah.
and then, how do you feel about the end of this movie when the last Airbender pulls himself out of the dude?
Yeah, it's a little bit over the top. I actually think the acting of the kid sells it pretty well.
Why
because,
does he look so much like Ong from the last Airbender movie? Why he looks just like the kid in the face.
The kid has some like fucking shit eating grins to him though. Like with the way he looks at Pedro when he does where he does the streaks of blood over his forehead is really like bone chilling. I think
Dude,
the kid is actually
fact
pretty
that
good.
he couldn't wash that off.
It's really good.
He's like marked.
It's really good.
Yeah.
There's little bits like that in the movie that are genuinely cool. It's just it is giving zero fucks as far as like how deep it's willing to reach with its bleakness, and it's not gonna be for everybody. I do want to say though, like you said, like from the filmmaking perspective, so like the subject matter that he wrote is going to rub people the wrong way, but I do think just as a director, this guy, like the movie visually is presented really well. I do think because of this movie's success, he's going to get an opportunity to probably direct something in Hollywood.
Oh yeah,
upcoming. And I think if you can like divorce him from how dour he is as a writer, as a director, the dude is insanely good. So I'm curious to see what his career like has ahead of him as far as a director, where you're not touching these like very dark subjects.
Or the way that you could with like a movie like Hereditary, where there is something, or like in Sinister, where there is something about, there's almost an art form to taking that kind of dour thing and molding it for an American audience where we don't do that, and no studio's gonna let you make that, but getting to make it anyway because the way that you angle around things or the way that you allude to things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Sinister is another one that was one step over the line for me that I was just kind of like, but it handled a lot of the same kind of subjects of what's happening, but it handled it in a way where it was almost worse because they didn't show the thing, or they alluded to it in a way, or they showed you just enough of a thing that then in a Lovecraftian way, your mind just kind of takes it and runs with it from there because they can't show the extra step. It's almost worse in a way.
Like where, so in this, the little girl that gets mauled by the dog, you never see her, and that lets your imagination play, and you don't want it to. Just and you're just like, oh Jesus Christ. It's brutal. But I'm curious to see. I also thought specifically the acting as a whole I thought was pretty good. I thought the guy playing Pedro was very good. I was really impressed with his performance because
I liked all the acting in this.
Yeah, I did too. He was one that stood out for me. I would go through their names, but I would just butcher all their names. So I will just direct everyone to the IMDb page because they are all really, really good.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just gonna let you handle all the casting talk because not me. I am an uncultured American, and I have no idea how to pronounce half of these.
Yeah,
no disrespect to anyone involved.
And we also don't want to be like, you ever see like the dude on like the 6 o'clock news who unnecessarily like pulls out like a Spanish like accent to everything. You're just like, don't do that, dude. You're making me uncomfortable. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
I hate it when people do that. It drives me crazy. Were there any other moments with the movie that I feel like this is a movie that if it's in like your wheelhouse at all, you just have to watch, because nobody is going to react to this the same way because of how much it's pushing the limits on stuff. It's something that can't be explained. You just have to kind of watch it if you want to at all, and feel just kind of like be able to feel as a viewer like what's going to work for you and what's not, and what totally works for someone else. And like with me, is like how insane it was something that you were just like, I can't do this. This was something that was a draw for me because I just wanted to see what the fuck would happen next.
Yeah.
Very much like the first time I saw the ending of Hereditary, that last 30 minutes fucking ramps up so much. You're just like, I don't know where the fuck they're gonna go with this. And I love that feeling. I sat down to watch this tonight. I was home alone. I went and turned out all the lights in the apartment and started up the movie. And when you're in for a ride
turn
like
the lights
this,
back on,
got my blankie and was
and held it so tight.
Got my Bible, got my cross, got some holy water. Just gotta make sure. But I love that feeling where you don't know what the fuck you're in for. And this, if you like that feeling as like a horror junkie, that's what made this hit so much for horror fans. Is because you don't know what you're in for. Also, I think what helps it is like pretty much none of us have seen like a trailer for it.
Yeah.
So when you don't even know like what like the visual language of the movie is, you don't know, you haven't seen a poster, you haven't seen a trailer, you don't know, you don't have like any frame of reference going in. I think helps a lot too, as far as like just adding to the terror of it, where you don't know what you're in for.
I am kind of curious what a trailer for this looks like.
I was thinking that same thing earlier. Tonight, actually, I'm gonna go check out some of the trailers because I will be curious to see how subtle they are about like spoiling stuff.
Or if it's just a lot of people sitting around contemplatively and like occasionally screaming to the sky. Like I could see a trailer for this movie that does not sell it at all because they don't want to show anything. So it's just people sitting in a car. Like,
it would be like a really fucking good cold open if I was like designing the trailer for this. Would be like the close up of the ice cream with like the necklace. That shot is so fucking disturbing and out of context. You just be like, what the fuck am I even looking at? And then when you watch that scene, like, don't know if I really appreciate ice cream again. Like, tell you that much.
I imagine
watching this movie. I
imagine all the stuff with Ruiz and the axe and the gun and the goat was all for the trailer. I imagine the trailer is mostly those scenes.
Yeah, I think the lady with the axe is also the typical placeholder image. I think if you actually pull it up,
most of the posters are her with the axe aimed at herself.
Which is a great fucking image.
It's a striking silhouette.
Yeah, right.
I imagine that all that stuff at the beginning of the movie, you kind of forget happened. It doesn't hurt the pacing or anything, as it still sets up the brothers pretty well. But you don't know where they're going with it at first. I imagine that is all fodder for the trailer so that they can just hide everything else behind it, is what I would imagine. But I don't know, as I haven't seen a trailer for it.
Yeah, I'll definitely be checking it out tonight because I was coincidentally thinking the exact same thing as just being curious about what all they showed.
Because what could it be, right? Like, surely they don't open up with Ong. Like, surely. Could you imagine? Dude, when the dude's head just pops up and he's like, hey, Pedro, like he's like fucking Beetlejuice. Like, hey, how you doing? Like, I was like, what the fuck is happening?
I could also see Beetlejuice just being in the same shared cinematic universe as Evil Lurks. and he's just kind of like the chill, like crazy uncle figure who's like their town's like fuck. Aurora just walked in out of context to our conversation, is very bamboozled as far as like what we're talking about with Beetlejuice, which is very funny because she just looked at me with like the most like confused look on her face. And
I can't see her being a Beetlejuice fan. Is that the squeak I heard in the background?
Yeah, she had walked into the door. I was just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I literally whipped my head to the door in the rooms. I thought someone was walking into the rooms. It sounded like a door opening.
Yeah, the movie kind of got you on your toes tonight.
Yeah, a little bit.
Looking behind your shoulder. The first time I saw Hereditary, I can tell you, I was looking at the fucking corners of my bedroom that night. I was looking for shit.
I cannot handle. There is I can't think of what it is. There's a song that's like got a bunch of tongue clacking in it in the background.
And never again.
That tongue clack, again. I cannot. After Hereditary, that tongue clack is not a sound I can handle. Yes, that when I next time I hear that song, I will tell you what it was, what song it is. I hear it every once in a while. I cannot think about it. I cannot think of what it is right now.
It's funny how something so simple like that can be perpetually changed. In a second. Yeah, just for forever, and it only takes a second.
Next time I watch a movie from Argentina with a child and a dog, I'm gonna just sit and
watch out, man,
gripping the edges of my chair.
Yeah.
I
also think how we had another Black Phillip. That's pretty cool,
right? I was like, well, that's ironic.
Oh man, what a fucking movie, dude.
Yeah, what a movie indeed.
Yeah, what a movie. I probably won't be able to sleep the best tonight.
No, or at all.
Yeah, just bravo, dude. Like when you can have that effect on me, you fucking did something. So like, bravo, man, bravo.
Yeah, I just need to hug my children now before I call it a night.
Right. That was like after the very first time I saw the first John Wick, I just wanted to go home and give my dog a hug.
Right.
You know, it's just something like that. You know, a little happen. Ron is about to say what our next film coverage is going to be. Will he pick When Evil Lurks as back-to-back coverage because he just can't wait to watch it again? You'll find out.
I do have it for the next 48 hours, so...
You do. This is going to be playing on a loop, just like a happy background movie. You know, just it's a family road trip, lots of ice cream, you know, lots of family bonding.
What do you think apple ice cream tastes like? Do you think they're talking about gelato, but they don't think Americans will know what gelato is?
Yeah, apple ice cream is very specific. So I wonder if that is like just like a mistranslation.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And these are Americans we're talking about. They barely know what an apple is. Let's just put down apple ice cream in the subtitle.
Right.
Apple away keeps the bloater away.
Before Ron explains what we're covering next, though, I will do our sign-offs. If you did enjoy the show, please like and subscribe on YouTube if you found us there. Subscribing on whichever platform for podcasts you've caught us on also helps out a ton. Any ratings or reviews is also a huge help. If you have a question that you would like discussed by Ron and myself, you can always email us, screenplayrewind@gmail.com. Send us in stuff there to talk about.
Screenplayrewind@gmail.com.
Indeed. And just real quick, I wanted to give Ron a chance to plug. You're actually doing some YouTubes again.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm just Ron Sense TV on all the things, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. I've been trying to stream some Dark Souls whenever I get the chance. I'm not streaming regularly right now, but and then I've been uploading some Hades every Sunday and Subnautica whenever I get the chance at the moment. I think I'm doing Spider-Man 2 next. After
was your Subnautica like with mods? Were you having like a bunch of like mods?
Yeah, I'm running a bunch of mods, gameplay improvements type things,
nice
quality of life stuff. There is a major mod I thought about doing later that is basically DLC.
Isn't that nuts? Some of that fucking like fan mod stuff is as rambunctious as like a full blown fucking like studios like DLC.
Yeah, it just completely changes the game. The fact that we can get there and that the unknown worlds behind the game, they're just kind of like, okay, like, sure. Like, we didn't have to do it. So,
whatever.
Yeah. So
did you hear that Sony finally called up the Bloodborne cart, dude? It was like, you can't call it Bloodborne cart, man.
Did they really? No.
Yeah, they did. Fortunately, the dude that was creating it said that was expected all along.
It's
and
Silly the Witch, isn't it?
They will now be able to still release it. They just have to kind of revamp it slightly to kind of like barely change it enough to where it kind of falls under parody law. So they'll still be able to release it. Fortunately,
did you?
It's just not going to be called Bloodborne cart.
Did you see the trailer for Lady Maria?
It's so good, dude. Where the clock tower is like her cart.
It's like one of those giant big wheels from Star Wars.
It's fucking amazing, man.
It's so good.
Yeah, that blew my mind, dude. I was not expecting them to have like that level of detail to their carts, dude. I was
and
like,
when
Jesus.
It had the reference to Smash Brothers with Lady Maria's Join the Race.
Yeah.
Oh,
so good.
So good.
That has me more excited than any actual FromSoft thing that's happened since like the actual Bloodborne release.
Right.
Ron, what are we covering next time?
Next time, Jeff, I would like to cover a movie that is not exactly uplifting either.
It will be compared to this.
I think this may be the first time we have covered something based on a true story.
Memories of Murder. We did.
True. Okay,
although we didn't pick that. That was picked for us. So you have like a gray area in there. Yeah.
So obviously I'm right.
Obviously, fuck you, Jeff.
Have you ever watched Everest?
I have not seen Everest.
Okay, so Everest is about a thing that actually happened. A bunch of climbers climbing Everest for whatever reason were hit by a snowstorm, and yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. Not a lot of fun things happen after that. This movie is pretty good. I was trying to look. I was not seeing it. Yeah, here it is on the poster. I don't know why it's not showing him on IMDb, but Jake Gyllenhaal, Sam Worthington, Keira Knightley,
Nice.
Emily Watson, Robin Wright, John Hawkes, Josh Brolin, Jason Clarke.
Yeah, good cast. I remember you telling me about the cast, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I didn't realize, because the movie kind of went like under the radar, but it has like a killer cast.
Yeah, nicely done. Yeah. It's a really good movie that is not exactly uplifting.
I'll be the judge of that.
Came out.
I like how Everest is the uplifting change of pace.
Yeah.
Compared to so at what point are they trying to relocate the frozen rotten? Is that the third act, second act? What are we talking here?
See, what ends up happening is they find something frozen in the ice that they just refer to as Iceman the whole movie. Turns out it's Megatron.
Oh shit! I also just got the unfortunate mental image of someone finding the rotten dude from this, and then just slapping him on a couple of skis to relocate him just like down the mountain.
They put him on a sled to haul him, and then
you see that was the problem. It's like if you don't have to put him on the back of a truck, and you can just put him on like a fucking set of skis and just roll his ass down the hill. Problem solved. That fucker's gonna roll for like 3 hours, dude. Like we're chilling.
They put him on a sled to move him, and then they accidentally lose him. And as he's going down the hill, fucking yakety sax starts as they're chasing him, trying to get him.
They're like snowmobiles, and it's just like it's like that fucking Inception action sequence with them chasing down the rotten dude. Call us Argentina. We got a sequel idea.
Oh man.
Oh goodness. I would pay to watch that movie now.
But yeah, this is also 2015 seems to be an era where Sam Worthington can get his name above Jake Gyllenhaal's on a poster.
Did he really?
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal's the last name on this poster.
I guess that kind of made so. Was it like a with Jake Gyllenhaal type of thing, like they do with like Samuel
and Jake Gyllenhaal?
Okay. So yeah, they'll sometimes do that to like still give them like what they do with like Samuel L. Jackson, like in all the Marvel shit, where he's like with Samuel L. Jackson or whatever it is, like as like a feature spot at the end. But that's crazy because
Jason Clarke is top billing.
Because like Sam Worthington was fucking everywhere for about 3 years and then just disappeared. He was in. What's the Andrew Garfield movie where he's like where he's is it like Vietnam? I forget which war it was.
It's Hacksaw Ridge, right?
Yeah. Sam Worthington is good in that. That's the last time I've seen him.
I forgot he's in that.
Yeah, he's like his like corporal like dude is like in charge of his platoon or something.
I thought that was Vince Vaughn.
I think Sam Worthington is also one of the ranks above Andrew Garfield. He's just not like the captain level dude. I forget though. I haven't seen it in a few years, but that's other than that, I haven't. That's a very good movie. I love the movie. I haven't seen Sam Worthington in anything else other than that in the past like 10 years though.
I'm looking at it right now. He is in it.
He's good in it.
Captain Glover.
Oh, so he's a captain. I just immediately called out the rank in which he was by saying he wasn't. So good job, me. But
see, all I can ever think of when I think of that movie is Andrew Garfield and Mel Gibson, because Mel Gibson directed it. It was kind of his big comeback. It's World War II, the Battle of Okinawa.
That's right. I knew it was like a period piece. I just couldn't remember which war it was based around.
It was really it took me out of the movie at the beginning to see Vince Vaughn, but he's actually really good in it too.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn. He was not in your typical casting role for the second season of True Detective that Vince Vaughn was in. He was also
He's
good
a pretty
in that.
good
So it's
dramatic actor.
yeah, he can be pretty good given like the role. It's just he was Vince Vaughn, the sarcastic asshole comedic relief in, so many movies, because that's what you associate him with. But he's good when he's in a dramatic role. Yeah,
There's a movie that I'm desperately trying to look up before I finish this sentence, but IMDb is not cooperating. The Siege of Jadotville. Have you ever seen that?
I have not.
So it's a Netflix movie, which means I can't watch it because I don't have Netflix. But it's really good. It's Irish Commandant Pat Quinlan leads a standoff with troops against the French and Belgian mercenaries in the Congo in the early 1960s. Jason
Nice.
O'Mara is really good in that movie. He's the Vince Vaughn role that Vince Vaughn has in Hacksaw Ridge. Jason O'Mara, now probably most famous for being the voice of Batman most recently. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is where I mainly know him from. But that movie has Jamie Dornan and Mark Strong, and I never know how to say his name. Michael McElhatton? You'd know
Not
him
sure.
as soon as you saw him. He's Roose Bolton, I think, in Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, that dude.
Yeah. See, I knew you'd know him instantly.
Yeah, I know Roose Bolton. Just didn't know his name.
But yeah, Jason O'Mara is that same kind of role in that movie, and yeah, he's really good.
Nice.
Because he's the voice of Batman in a lot of the recent stuff, like I said, in like Apocalypse War and
I like his Batman. I think he's a good Batman.
stuff. Yeah, he's a good Batman.
Yeah.
He's I believe he's Batman in just Justice League Dark when everything supernatural happens. He just like Batman doesn't know how to process the supernatural.
He's got some like Henry Cavill like Witcher going on.
Yeah,
with just like, God damn it, this shit again.
But yeah, he's that same kind of
really
role.
good.
So yeah, I have lost the movie. The Siege of Jadotville is, if you're looking for a good war movie.
I'm a sucker for a good war movie, man. There was just a new show that dropped on, I think it's Apple, but it's from the Band of Brothers and the Pacific People, and pretty excited.
I've
about
never
that.
seen either of them.
I am probably gonna like fudge the rules of this podcast just to make you watch like the first season. I mean, it was like an anthology. Like they're from the same studio, but it's not like a sequel series. But like their season of Band of Brothers is really fucking good, and it has a very, very good cast of people that were like character actors back then that would then go on later on to get bigger.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. It's like the Losers. Remember, like the Losers? You couldn't afford to fucking pay them now, but back then they were just character actors. It's kind of like that.
If you're like me and Jeff and want a sequel to the Losers, it's never happening because no studio can afford those people.
Dude, fucking Bezos can't afford to fund that payroll, dude. It's crazy.
Idris Elba alone at this point.
Yeah. Chris Evans in some of the biggest movies of all time now. You're like, how much does fucking Chris Evans make on a movie now just because he's fucking Captain America, man?
I couldn't even count all the money.
Right. It's like more than I make in a year, dude. It's crazy.
So I'm looking at Just Watch for where to find Everest, and it's available in all the typical places for rent. If you have Peacock, it's there. If you don't, Amazon, Apple TV, Microsoft, evidently.
Microsoft
Apparently. But there's a section on Just Watch where it's like, where does it rank today? And it shows you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movies with the movie you're looking at in the middle. Everest is ranked 2,394 on Just Watch. With rising popularity, it is just above the Tom and Jerry like live action movie, apparently.
I like how because one person pulled up the webpage, it was rising popularity. So they're firing on all cylinders.
It is 2 notches below the Hulk, apparently.
Which Hulk are we talking?
I always get him mixed up. I think it might be Eric Bana, but it might be the other guy.
I think Eric Bana's was just Hulk.
Yeah, that's what it is, Hulk.
Yeah. Okay.
I always get Eric Bana mixed up with the other dude. I can never remember his name either.
Edward Norton from
No, not Edward Norton's the one from the MCU Hulk that's not in the MCU, but kind of is, but is not. That Disney finally
goddamn these timelines.
That Disney finally put on Disney Plus, so you can actually watch that movie and actually appreciate it for shut up, all you Hulk fans. It's a good movie.
Yeah, the movie's fine. I liked it. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked the other one too, but it's not nearly as good as the Edward Norton one. But no, Eric Bana always reminds me of, is it Clive Owen? There's two dudes I always get mixed up.
I have no idea.
I think it's Clive Owen. Because they do similar movies a lot. Anyway.
I feel like it might be somebody else. But I'm not prepared to enter the realm of Ron's brain.
Good night.
I think you might be fucking wrong. But, I'll tiptoe around it. I don't know.
You know me. I always like to take two actors and mix them up with a third one. So
yeah. It's actually just Tom Cruise. He's just totally mistaken.
Who's the guy from Shoot 'Em Up?
Shoot 'Em Up is Clive Owen. Yeah.
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking.
So
of.
you got Shoot 'Em Up, Clive Owen mixed up with Eric Bana.
Yeah. I usually mix the two of them up.
They look nothing alike to me. That's so funny.
They're both long and gangly. That's my big problem.
I thought Eric Bana was like, I don't know. This conversation is stupid and going on way too long.
Dude, this is episode 90. This is the 90th stupid conversation. This is 90. Damn. Yeah, we're gonna hit 100 this year.
That's
2024 is a big year for Screenplay Rewind.
100 episodes of this show is a more terrifying thought than anything that happens in When Evil Lurks.
We're going to have to start thinking about what we want to do for a 100th episode. Are we doing a commentary? Are we just doing a regular episode of the podcast? Are we doing a good episode of the podcast?
That's not possible.
Like, are we doing a live episode of the podcast? Who knows?
I don't know.
The sky's the limit. It's just not a very high sky.
We're not going to get anywhere near there, but that is the limit.
How high I can jump is the limit, in fact.
Indeed. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We're going to go argue. We're going to go argue some more about Eric Bana. So, have a good night, everybody. Try not to relocate any things that might be potentially patient zeros and starting demonic apocalypses.
Be sure to mind your 7 rules.
Yeah, mind all the rules. Make sure you sing the songs so you remember them. The last rule is remember all the rules, just like they say in the movie.
That scene in the movie is a little sing-songy for me.
Oh, yeah?
Nothing, huh?
I see that. Yeah. I'm too tired, man. Wait, why do we record these on Friday nights? I've had like a whole work week. I'm just like, man, I just want to go to bed.
Why do we always finish these at midnight when it takes me 3 hours to put it together for the next day?
We should start recording these. We should start recording these earlier in the week.
We really should.
Yeah, we really should.
I'm gonna write that down. Prepare. Okay, done.
Prepare. Have a good night, everybody. It actually went pretty short considering we had a 45-minute recap of 8 other movies.
Yeah, I feel bad. I feel like I had nothing to contribute this time. I feel bad for it. I feel like you just talked the entire time.
No, it's like we fortunately we had a 45-minute green room that was part of the show too. Yeah, we're done.